Hello everyone, my name is Muhamad Afif. In this video, I would like to talk about multicultural issues in the film Crash 2004. This video presentation is prepared as part of my final semester examination for the subject multicultural literature. Through this assignment, I'm expected to analyze a literary work, in this case, a film that represents multicultural issues and social realities relate to the race, culture, and identity. That is why I chose Crush as the subject of my analysis, because this film really shows how multicultural conflicts happen in real life. Personally, I think Crush is a powerful and uncomfortable film. It doesn't try to please the audience, but instead forces us to reflect on our own biases. What I like about this film is that it doesn't portray characters as purely good or bad. Every character has flaws and almost everyone shows prejudice toward others. This makes the film realistic and relevant. In my opinion, Crush successfully delivers a strong message. Racism and stereotypes are not limited to one race or group, but can exist in everyone. Crush is a drama film set in Los Angeles and follows the life of several characters from different racial and cultural backgrounds, such as African Americans, White Americans, Latinos, Asians, and Arab Americans. The film uses a nonlinear narrative where different stories intersect and affect one another. Through car accidents, crimes, and daily encounters, the characters crash into each other's lives, both physically and emotionally. These interactions reveal hidden fears, racial tensions, stereotypes, and power imbalances in American society. The city becomes a symbol of multicultural space that is full of conflict rather than harmony. For one, racism and racial profiling. This image represents one of the strongest examples of racism and racial profiling in the film Crush. In these scenes, Cameron and Christine, an African American couple, are stopped by a white police officer without clear reason. The officer abuses his authority and humiliating Christine, showing how power and race intersect. This scene reflects institutional racism, where discrimination is not only personal but also supported by social structures such as law enforcement. Even though Cameron is a successful and educated man, his race still places him in a vulnerable position. Stereotype of Latino workers as criminals or unreliable. This image shows Daniel Ruiz, a Latino locksmith who becomes a victim of racial and class-based stereotype. When he is hired to change the looks of a wealthy white woman's house, she immediately distrusts him and assumes that he is a gang member. This scene demonstrates how Latino workers are often perceived as unreliable or criminal, even when there is no evidence to support this belief. The film later reveals the irony of this situation, as the house is actually robbed by someone the woman trusts. Through Daniel's character, Cross criticized the unfair stereotypes placed on Latinos revelers. Islamophobia and stereotype of Arab characters. This image represents the stereotype faced by Arab Americans in the film. Farhad, an Arab shop owner, is constantly suspect of being a terrorist because of his appearance and accent. Customers and sellers treat him with fear and disrespect, assuming that he is dangerous. This reflects Islamophobia in post 9/11 American society, where Arab identity is unfairly associated with violence. The film shows how repeated discrimination relates to anger and emotional instability, which eventually results in tragic consequences for language discrimination and cultural marginalization. In this scene, Farhat is humiliated because he cannot speak English fluently. The gun store owner refused to treat him with patience and respect, showing how language becomes a tool of power. These moments highlights cultural marginalization in multicultural societies, where immigrants who struggle with the dominant language are seen as inferior or unintelligent. The film suggests that communication barriers often lead to misunderstanding and discrimination. Internalized 5. Internalized racism and conflict between minorities. This image illustrates internalized racism and conflict between minority groups. Although both Farhat and Daniel are victims of this discrimination, Farhat directs his anger toward Daniel, blaming him for his own suffering. This scene shows that racism doesn't only occur between the majority and minorities, but also among marginalized groups themselves. Rush presents racism as a cycle where pain and prejudice are passed from one group to another. Through these scenes, Rush shows that multiculturalism alone doesn't guarantee harmony. Cultural diversity without empathy, understanding, and justice can lead to fear, conflict, and violence. The film encourages viewers to reflect on their own prejudice and recognize that stereotypes reduce complex human beings into harmful labels. Ultimately, Trust presents multicultural society as a space that requires continuous self-reflection and mutual respect. In conclusion, Rush is a significant film that exposes the dark side of multicultural societies. It challenges viewers to question their own assumptions and recognize that racism and stereotype can exist in suitable and everyday forms. For me, this film is not just about America, but about humanity in general. It reminds us that misunderstanding difference is not enough. We must also practice empathy, self-reflection. Thank you for watching.